far back do you go with Puffy? Did you know him back in the 90s?
Well, you got to know. I mean, when we had the Source, you know what I'm saying. I heard of him, of course, back when Heavy D, Uptown Records.
Okay.
Okay, and then when Mary J. Blige came out, that's when you started kind of seeing him and Biggie, I think it was on the Super Cat remix when Biggie and Diddy was actually rapping on that, Dolly My Baby. He was actually the rapper. And then just, I think I met him probably in the 90s, like the early 90s.
Okay.
And it was always just cordial. Dave was the one that was doing business with him because Dave handled the advertising at the Source, Dave Mays. So Dave was really really cool with him because, Diddy's buying ads for Bad Boy and stuff.
Of course, yeah.
I've been to one Diddy party, but it was in Manhattan. It was not at his house. It was a suit and tie affair. Me and Dave went. The thing with me is like, I was kind of back then. I was a lot more wilder. And I ran with a big crew. I mean, we went to the party, met him, but I was close with Mario Winans. Mario Winans produced, they was one of Diddy's producers, and Stevie J, of course. I met Stevie at Diddy's house, at Diddy's studio in Manhattan, and me and Stevie ended up being super tight, and me and Mario ended up being super tight. But Diddy was always kind of telling them to kind of be careful with Benzino, and what I'm saying, he was kind of overprotective with them when they was, with me. So me and him, a lot of people don't know, but me and Diddy got a whole song together. It was on my Benzino Project album. The song was pretty dope too. It was produced by Kanye West. A lot of people don't know that.
No, listen, your first couple albums, you have heavy hitters on your album, bro. He had everybody. He had Scarface, he had Diddy, he had the Outlaws, he had Jadakiss. I mean, he had the first couple albums. Look at the features on them.
Yeah.
It's heavy hitters.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Please go ahead. Please don't stop. I was blessed. To really, So Diddy, man, listen, man. Look, I've never had any bad situation with him. He spent a lot of money with the Source magazine. Of course, there was that thing with the East Coast, West Coast beef at the 95 Source Awards with Suge Knight and Diddy. But, me and his interaction was very far and few throughout my time, in his time.
Yeah. So if you could talk to him now, give him an advice when he come back home, what would you tell him?
Well, welcome home. You know what I'm saying? If I could give you any advice, listen, one thing about it, people gotta understand, Diddy is a very, very smart man. Now, he let his sexual and lusts get the best of him, right? But you can't take away his hustle and his intelligence. He's a very smart individual. And, there's not too much advice I could give him that I'm sure he doesn't already know. But just hypothetically, I would definitely tell him, what I told you, let's get out there and really start doing some work with domestic violence victims, and possibly if you could open up a center, stuff like that, so that you can be in good graces with the fan base again. Of course, and what I'm saying, time heals all. So I would stress that.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. Yeah, and the staying away from people for a while, keeping.
You know what? He's going to do that. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I believe me. Diddy feels betrayed by a lot of people.
I will too.
He should.
He feels like people didn't speak up for him.
Mm-hmm. They didn't.
Everybody was quiet. I'm sure, even if you had nothing to do with it. Imagine, listen, Diddy had thousands of people partying at his house, loving him at the time the party was going on, and none of them was like, hey, Diddy's a good man.
Right.
None of them. Everybody was scared to say something.
Yeah.
So believe me, he felt that.
Yeah.
And again, Diddy's been giving parties since the 90s. We're talking 30 years of this. Diddy knows everybody. Diddy's Rolodex is the biggest Rolodex you can imagine of everybody. And when people go over there, they want to be next to him. They want to be in his presence. They want to party with him. When when the storm comes, you don't expect everybody to abandon you.
Yeah.
Very true.
And that's what happened. That's what happened. You know, I didn't see too many people
No,
give you know.
only Stevie J.
It's like he had the cooties at the time, and everybody wanted to get away from him.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's holding that personal. Trust me.
Oh, I
Trust
would.
me, this man's holding that person.
Oh, I would, yeah.
I would too. I would too. I mean, they all came out like, we don't want anything to do with you. Like, sorry, guys. No,
Yeah.
we are not.
And like I said, those parties, man, people, they were loving him. So, you know, it's tale of two different Diddys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they was loving him, you know, and that's why, you know, listen, man, that's why people gotta learn from things. And
Yeah.
you learn from this. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gotta learn. You know, the industry is a fickle business, man. And you think people are your friends, you think people are your family, you think people have your best interest, and as soon as you ain't hot no more, as soon as something happens, nobody knows you.
Yeah. They
And that's
drop
just
you.
what it is. And I know that firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.